Lights out, we're racing in MotoGP here in the Grand Prix of Spain. Not a clean getaway at all by Marc Marquez, was it? He's going backwards into fourth place. Was that whole shot device engaged for the number 93? Aggressive he is on the inside now of Alex. Quartararo though it is, they've got the whole shot. Bagnaia trying to get aggressive on the inside of turn 2. Quartararo leads, Bagnaia second. It was not the perfect launch for Marquez.
And not a good start either for one of those VR16 Ducatis. That is Frankie Morbidelli dropping backwards. Maverick Vinales is still there in the top 6, in 5th place. Marc Marquez goes straight through on pickup Bagnaia, is he? He's trying to go around the outside into turn 5. That'd be brave.
Oh, red on red. How close was that coming through the high-speed left-hander of turn 4? Quartararo then leads the Grand Prix for the first time since the Sachsenring all the way back in 2022. He's at the corner where he crashed out the sprint yesterday, coming from a long way back is Alex Marquez. Oh, eye of the needle. Alex Marquez will have his heart in his mouth there because he was so close to contact with Marc and also Pecco Bagnaia. That's dropped the 73 back down to, well, outside of the top 5.
Oh, Marc Marquez straight at the inside of Bagnaia into turn 7. That is a brave move. Bagnaia then drops behind his teammate, but he wants it straight back again.
Oh, listen to the crowd. They are on their feet. They're already crying themselves off. Through turn 10 we go. Bagnaia and Marc Marquez leading each other. We saw this in the Grand Prix later. Oh, there's contact. What a first lap this has been here in Jerez. Drama to the extreme. Fabio Quartararo clearing off at the front of this Grand Prix. Bagnaia and Marquez have had, what, 4 or 5 aggressive overtakes on this first lap alone. A first lap for the ages here in the Spanish Grand Prix, which will be led by Fabio Quartararo. And Bagnaia looking for his 4th success. And Marquez, the crowd are on their feet outside our main grandstand here. I'm not quite sure they can see what they've seen so far.
Oh. This is MotoGP with a capital M, isn't it? Bagnaia was not going to give that one up with that almighty fight, because there was not a lot of room down the left-hand side, you have to say, but it was on the edge, but it was just about okay. I'm sure if you were in that factory Ducati box, you were watching that with a sort of gap in your fingers and just hoping that the pair of them were going to get through the corner unscathed. They just about managed it.
Well, it was pass or be pass, wasn't it, on that opening lap? It was Alex Marquez. Well, he said he had to be a Grand Prix. He was 2.5 seconds clear when he crashed out the lead in Austin about a month ago, and he has dropped the ball big time once again here. You could hear the moans, you could hear the groans from the Spanish fans in Barcelona and in Madrid. They cannot believe what they've just seen. Through turn 8, Marc Marquez goes, tries to pick up on his elbow, but he craves into the gravel trap in a cloud of dust. And now this has completely changed the game in terms of the Spanish Grand Prix and the World Championship. Can you believe it?
Well, it's not often I'm speechless, but last time Marc Marquez left an open goal. Can he do the same again?
Here comes Alex. He's going to be aggressive on the inside of Bagnaia into turn 13. That's lovely. That is a beautiful textbook move by Alex on the brakes into that final corner. The crowd are on their feet now, and this would see a quicker than Miller, Morbidelli, Binder, Costa, Zarco. He's fastened a whole bunch of riders ahead of him. That is Marc Marquez, but he's way well, we saw Marc Marquez crash out of victory contention in COTA. We saw Fermin Aldeguer crash out of top 5 contention in COTA as well. They've both done the same.
Which may grow, of course, if riders drop out. So in terms of the World Championship, and his lead in the World Championship is now under some serious threat, Marc Marquez could still salvage some points from this.
Well, he was super apologetic to his Ducati team in Austin. He said it was my mistake. He denied it was overconfidence on that occasion in Austin, but this is going to be one of clearly the major talking points of this Spanish Grand Prix. As he flicked it left into turn 8 at the Jorge Martinez Aspar corner. 3rd gear through there. They cannot believe it, can they? Inside the Ducati Lenovo team garage. They're just as shell-shocked as what we are. How the heck is Marc Marquez doing low 138s with a motorcycle that's as damaged? Indonesia 2023 as Marquez picked his way through on Songkhap Chantra. The Lombok Grand Prix in 23 was the last time Quartararo was on the podium. As he mentioned pre-commentary, although he did briefly lead the sprint yesterday, this is the first time he's led a main Grand Prix since the Sachsenring in 2020.
As we watch the 2 factory KTMs in their battle for 9th place, Quartararo's lead did come down on that lap, and the lead is now gone. Alex Marquez strikes at the start of lap 11.
Alex Marquez decides this is his time. He hits the front here in Jerez, right in front of the Marquez grandstands. Is Alex Marquez and now on course for his first ever MotoGP victory. Of course, decisive in the championship, that move as well. Quartararo.
Followed Fabio for long enough. Now is the time to attack, and Alex Marquez attacked ruthlessly and definitively into turn one, parked it up the inside, and Fabio Quartararo had no choice at that stage but to give it up from there. He was unable to tip it in. You can hear under our voices the huge roar from the grandstands. Alex Marquez's lead is already up to half a second. Quartararo he ever gets. Quartararo and Bagnaia need to just keep the pressure on.
Well, he's been Mr. P2 8 times so far in 2025. Is he finally going to be at Mr. P1 once again? Who's your rider of the race? Well, at the moment, for the 43 Yamaha of Jack Miller, who looks really frustrated. It looks like there's a technical issue in the Grand Prix. That was a 5th place in India a couple of years back, so this is by far. Oh, no! Well, there we go. The commentator curse well and truly does strike there, doesn't it? As Joan Mir bites the dust mid-corner through turn 6. How many times have we seen the 27-year-old Spaniard blow golden opportunities of big point-scoring finishes? That is now going to be Mir's 9th DNF in the last 11 Grand Prix.
I wonder whether he was just sucking in there by Frankie Morbidelli, who outbraked himself into turn 6. Mir then followed him in.
Alex Marquez.
We now watch the battle for what is now 16th place, and it wasn't a very long battle, was it, as Marc Marquez goes through into turn 5, which gets a polite round of applause from the fans in the grandstand underneath those. Of course, with Jack Miller dropping out of contention, that moved him 1 place closer to the points. Of course, you'd have to get all the way up to 10th place if he wanted to retain his World Championship previous occasions. The last of those came in Austin, as we see the battle between Bastianini and Marini, a pair of Italians swapping 9th place. Marini's not getting that one up without an almighty fight. Once again, we are seeing the Sunday salvage job in progress.
To attack, Alex Marquez trying to find a way through on Ralph Fernandez into 6th. He has made it through on entry. He's going to run wide though, is he surely? Marc Marquez almost into the back of Ralph Fernandez. Jack just informing us that Fermin Aldeguer, after his crash out of podium contention at turn 6 earlier on, the Spaniard has called it a day. He has just pitted.
Best form of defence's attack then, I guess, for Alex Marquez, as Ralph Fernandez goes wide there through the very same corner that Marc Marquez crashed out at earlier on. Marc Marquez through then into
real sustained attack coming from Bagnaia at all. On that last lap, Bagnaia, to his credit, was about a 10th faster than Quartararo. Marquez then does finally get through on Alex Marquez, albeit briefly, in that final corner. 2 very experienced wise old heads here battling it out towards the bottom end of the point scoring places. He's having another dip now on Alex into the first corner. Is this one going to work out for Mark? He'll just make sure he's got the inside line going into 2. So that is up into P13 for Marc Marquez, and more very important.
Will improve for Pecco Bagnaia, although he'll stay in 3rd place, 16 points. Of course, with Marc Marquez currently in 13th place, Bagnaia would be 18 points behind Marc Marquez, who in
point scoring places. He's having another dip now on Alex into the first corner. Is this one going to work out for Mark? He'll just make sure he's got the inside line going into 2. So that is up into P13 for Marc Marquez, and more very important.
Will improve for Pecco Bagnaia, although he'll stay in 3rd place, 16 points. Of course, with Marc Marquez currently in 13th place, Bagnaia would be 18 points behind Marc Marquez, who in turn would be 2 points behind Alex Marquez. 1 more lap to go, and this is the scenario that Alex Marquez must have dreamt of as a little boy when he came here through the gates to watch the Spanish Grand Prix as a child. Made his Grand Prix debut here over a decade ago. The biggest 90 seconds of Alex Marquez's life start now.
He is on the biggest 4.4 kilometres of his Grand Prix career. It is just what now, less than 10 corners standing between Alex Marquez and the biggest day, one of the biggest days of his Grand Prix career. Do you feel that he is your rider of the race? Vote now with the QR code in the bottom right hand corner of your screens. Quartararo, can he cling on to this 2nd place? Alex Marquez hard on the brakes into turn 6, where it nearly all turned to disaster on the first corner. A little bit out of shape on the brakes. Steady on, Alex. I don't think we can take it more drum at the end of this Grand Prix. He now goes through into turn 7. Surely now Alex Marquez will be victorious. He will reign in Spain in 2025.
Saw his father Julio Marquez in the box. We now look at him. He can barely watch. He is getting such a huge cheer. So many of them have come to Jerez this afternoon looking for Marc Marquez to take victory. Today though, Alex, this looks like being your day.
He's already punching in the air in delight. The big fist wave to the crowd who were on their feet, making the biggest noise you've heard in Jerez for many a decade. He now comes through the Crivier corner, one corner left and now for Alex Marquez. If there was a roof on Jerez, it will be about to be lifted off, because out of the final corner comes the number 73, and finally we can say Alex Marquez is a MotoGP winner. He does reign in Spain here in Jerez.